amazing stuff there.
Thank you.
Blinded gone wrong, drinks spiked. I mean, the normal modus operandi, and it all went wrong. And I like the part at the start of the movie when you said victim, you cancelled that, and you say survivor.
Yes.
Let's talk in detail.
Okay.
About the movie itself.
Okay.
Let's talk about the storyline. Let's talk about the technicality. Let's also talk about the fact that it's a short movie. What's the span?
Just 30 minutes.
Just 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Okay. So the movie revolves around a young woman. This woman just finished university. She's just starting her career. She's trying to find love. So she goes on a blind date, and from there, just all goes wrong. You know, you're living your normal life, trying to find love, and then you're going on these dates, and then one of these dates completely changes your life or changes the course of your life forever. And this woman is a pharmacist as well, so she knows all the medications. She knows a lot of medical professionals. So even after this terrible thing had happened to her, she's seeking help, going to therapy, taking all the prescription drugs, but nothing seems to be working until she sees him walking down the road one day, and he doesn't even recognize her. He's forgotten that he destroyed this woman's life. And that's when she decides to take justice into her own hands.
You know, a lot of people don't understand the gravity of sexual abuses sometimes. They just feel it's just another thing that has happened. Move on. And they wonder why the survivors, and I like that message you're trying to pass, that they're not victims, they're survivors. But we'll come to talk about societal reaction to this menace. I wonder if you thought about that in producing this movie. Society's receptance of survival. Because in recent times, and we have seen many cases, the survivor is victimized all over again.
Yes.
Oh, it happened so many years ago, why are you just talking about it? Get over it. Many people go through it.
Yeah.
We have a break coming up, but you might want to start now, and then we'll interrupt you to go on that break. So do you think about how we can begin to change society's receptance to survival, to this menace of sexual abuses?
Yes.
Is the movie also passing that message?
Yes, the movie is passing that message. And recently, about 5 days ago, a young woman actually came out on Twitter to say that she was raped by her coursemate. And she used the hashtag of our movie because I reached out to her, and she said after watching the movie, she felt inspired to share the story.
I hate to interrupt you, but I already warned you ahead. We'll go on that quick break now. We'll come back to talk some more about this movie and, of course, the general message it's trying to pass. Join us again. Welcome back to the Morning Show here on the Rise News. We're still talking about a new movie that focuses on rape and sexual abuses in Nigeria. And, of course, the movie producer, Queen Rasheed, is still here with us in the studio. Thank you so much for staying with us, Queen. I was asking you before that break, and you were talking about society's response to rape survivors. If that was a message you're trying to pass with this movie as well. And you were talking about a young girl who reached out to you on Twitter.
Yes, so a young girl came out on Twitter and said her coursemate had raped her. And she used the hashtag for the movie because she said after watching the movie, it kind of inspired her to come out and share her story. And although she received a lot of support, a lot of NGOs now are actually supporting her and giving her lawyers to pursue this case. A lot of people were also saying that this is a publicity stunt, or why didn't you come out when it happened? You know, and first off, I just want to clarify that this is not a publicity stunt. This is a young woman's life we're dealing with here. And number two, in terms of why didn't she come out when it happened, it's because of the societal backlash that you mentioned. There's so much stigma around the victims. It's why are you blaming the victim, or the survivor, rather? Why are you blaming the survivor? You are supposed to be fighting for her justice or trying to help her or him get his justice. You know, so that's what we're trying to pass on with this movie as well. It's part of this societal backlash or negativity that forced this young woman in the movie to get her own justice as well. So we need to be more accepting as a society. We need to be more supportive as a society, because that's the only way we can move forward.
I want to put the cat among the pigeons here. By saying, isn't it shocking when this very heinous crime is perpetrated against women in society.
And men.
And men, yeah.
And men, but let me use the context women now, just to be for effect.
Okay.
Isn't it shocking that you still hear some women
Oh,
say things like, "Oh, you deserve it.
yes.
You're dressed in a certain way."
Why were you in his house?
Why were you in his
why were you in his
house?
house?
You
You should not have been drinking.
You shouldn't
Yes, you shouldn't have
talk
gone
about
out.
it. For me, the part that kills me
Yeah.
is what other women say about it. A la Bukola Dakolo's case.
Yeah.
What other women? Even when the judgment went the way, when the case was struck out, some other women said, I knew a lady that was defending it to me that she just wanted to, be out there
Yeah.
and all of that, that her marriage was rocky. She just wanted to, and you were miffed by the verbiage that comes out of the mouth of some women. You wanna speak to that?
I think it's very heartbreaking when you see women saying these things about other women. And I've heard of situations where a child will come out to her mother and say, I'm being sexually assaulted. And the mother would insult the child or blame the child. I think that's why for our society to move forward in this fight of rape, first of all, we have to understand what sexual assault and rape is. Rape is not a crime it's not, oh, she was dressing sexy, so I had to rape. Rape is a crime of opportunity.
After all, babies are raped and they are wearing diapers.
Exactly, diapers. So rape is a crime of opportunity. It's you see someone vulnerable and you think, I can get away with this, and you do it. It's not, she provoked me or she came to my house. So we first have to understand that before we can even work towards fighting the problem. We don't understand it. Women and men, we don't understand it in Nigeria. We don't.
Okay, so let's talk about your role in this. This is your first movie,
Yes.
as it seems. Can you tell us what that experience was like for you, especially as this was your first one, female producer?
My experience, it was interesting, but it was also very challenging. Because I find that a lot of people in the industry, it's a male-dominated industry, let's just say that. And I think a lot of males in Nigeria are not used to taking orders from women or taking instructions or directions from women. So it was very challenging, it was challenging.
Just talking about,
Well, we pushed through.
You want to talk about some of those challenges? You want to talk about some of them?
Okay, so some of my partners at QRTV are males, of course, and the way the editors or cameramen or the male staff, for example, would treat them is very differently from the way they would treat me, purely based on the fact that he's a man and I'm a woman, But then you have to learn on the job. You have to learn how to work around these things and get a successful project at the end. And
what about things like location and scouting and casting, all that work that goes, all the pre-production works that goes into it before you actually start shooting?
Yeah, location scouting, I think, was one of our biggest challenges because there are not many film studios in Nigeria, And a lot of places you rent out or on the island, they're not cost effective, So, but luckily we were able to find a place on the mainland. It's a massive 7-story building. You can convert the floors into anything you want. Yeah. So that was perfect for us. In terms of auditioning, I think auditioning was actually quite fun, We auditioned a lot of people. By the end, we went with 3 young actors. They're all below 25, all the ones we went with. And we wanted to work with young actors because they're the future. And again, the ones we chose were very passionate, very driven. So we decided to go with them at the end.
I was going to say name and shame those male colleagues, but don't do that because you still work with them. You're still going to work with them. So
exactly.
You find your way around it. But how about funding? How do you get funding for this? And then I'm curious again about the title.
Okay.
Don't Beg Now.
Yeah.
Why? Why that?
Okay. I'll answer the don't beg now question first.
Okay.
So when a lot of people are caught, a lot of, let's say men in this instance, are caught after they've raped women, it's always, I'm so sorry, it was the devil, it was this, it was that. You've done this. Why are you begging? This woman has come to you. This woman is you and this woman now. So don't beg now.
But you hear instances where some women will say, you know, I just want a public apology. Isn't that begging? I want you to admit that you've done this.
Well, that's
beg me.
That's coming from the woman, though. You know, if you as a woman, you as a survivor want the begging, then of course you can request for the public apology. But most of the people that we've spoken to, they don't want you to. It's not going to do it. No, that's why it was. Don't beg now.
But pretty much it starts the process of healing. I mean, out of the case that happened, that a white police officer shot a black man dead in America, and the black man's brother, you know, just hugged her in court and say, you know, that was because that guy needed the healing. He needed to start.
Even Bukola Dakolo, one of her conditions is a national apology in public dating.
Because it goes a long way. It goes a long way.
It goes a long way for certain people, but not everybody. No.
No one size fits all.
Exactly. You know, there's some people, yes, they need the begging to start their healing, but there's some people who have already even started the healing without the begging. And there's some people who never even get the opportunity to say beg or don't beg now, but they have to heal on their own. Yeah.
So let's talk about the funding because yes,
very important.
Making it a short film, was it as a result of lack of funds, or you just felt the shorter the better, keep it short and simple, kiss and pass the message, like we're saying in broadcasting, you have to keep it short and simple for you to pass the message. Okay. Was that the instance, or was it funding? And where did you get funding from?
Okay, so QRTV just launched this year, so we actually wrote a couple of projects, some that are going to be released early next year as well. We decided to make this a short movie because it's a very touching subject, you know, and we wanted to just exactly keep it short and sweet, get straight to the point, and pass our message across with this movie. And in terms of funding, I used to own, or I still own, a fashion brand.
Okay.
So the earnings from that, you know, supported
this was all self and personal?
All self, personal, and family and friends as well.
Okay.
That's a great, I mean, that's a great way to start. Self, personal, family and friends.
Yeah.
But I want to touch on a very touchy subject. That's the healing of those victims. Because, I mean, the healing of the survivors, of these warriors, I should say. Warriors. Is there modus operandi? Is there like an open playbook for the healing process? How does it even start? Because the essence of all of this is we need to heal genuinely and be able to move on with our lives. Yeah. But the shocking part is some people get stuck in that moment for life. Some take 60, 70 years. I'm a big movie buff. Yeah. I saw a movie recently, The Good Liar. A woman was raped many years ago, about 60 years ago, and she went after the man 60 years after.
Yeah.
So what's the healing template like?
Okay. First off, I don't think there's a healing template for everyone. And secondly, I think one thing that people don't want to admit is that not everybody can heal. That's a difficult discussion to have, but not everybody can heal, even though they try every single thing. Some people are just unable to get past this. Like the movie said, 60 years later, this man has affected her whole life for 60 years. Yeah. That woman is probably never going to get over it. But again, for those who can heal, healing is a very personal journey. You know, so there's no, I can't say there's a template. It's within you. It's a personal journey.
Or does it start from seeing the weak person in all of this? The person that perpetrated this as a result of their personal weakness?
For some people, yes. For some people, they don't even want to see the person ever again.
So any future collaborations? Are you working on anything else? Any societal issues that you might be shedding more light on?
And where can this movie be seen?
Okay, so this movie can be seen on Vimeo. You just type in Don't Beg Now. Or you can go on our Instagram, QRTV_NG, and the link is in our bio, so you just click on that directly. And in terms of future projects for QRTV, we're going to be making movies, documentaries, and producing music videos as well. So not all of them are going to be focused on societal issues. Some of them are just to entertain our viewers as well.
Very, very big thank you for coming. You're doing a great job. We must commend you. And with rape and sexual abuses, that beyond the physical scars, they're psychological scars, and people need to heal. They need family, friends, and all of us to help them go through.
And at least they should be given the chance to beg a little bit. And it comes from a genuine.
Please do not victimize the survivors of the hurricane.